Hello everyone, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. Thank you all for tuning in to my channel today. For today's reading, we're going to take a look at what is blocking you from achieving your goal. Whatever goal you have in mind, whether it's within a romance, a relationship, a career goal, or just some intentions that you've been setting for yourself, we're going to take a look at anything that may be blocking you or something that you may not be aware of, something you're not seeing that could be preventing you from moving forward. So take a look at the 3 pile choices we have for you today. For pile number 1, we have blue apatite. For pile number 2, we have the golden healer. And for pile number 3, we have green moonstone. Alright, pause the video. If you need more time to meditate, the timestamps are going to be located in the description box below. And I'll see you all at your readings. Welcome to your reading, pile number 1. So you guys were drawn to the blue apatite as well as this card. We're going to go ahead and get your cards pulled for your reading. We're going to do this at this moment. So I'm going to do some tarot first, and then we'll do some oracle cards. Pile number 1. Can we take a look at what may be blocking or preventing them from achieving their goal? Okay, so we just had an interruption, so maybe there's something that's been interrupting your goal. We're going to take a few more cards for you. What may be blocking you, something you're not seeing that could be preventing you from moving forward with this goal you have in mind. Alright, so those are the tarot cards. Let's get a couple oracle. Pile number 1. Just a little bit. Pile number 1. Can we take a look at what potential block, what are they not seeing that is preventing them from moving forward with the goal they have in mind? It could be a fear, it could be something that you're unaware of, something you haven't noticed or seen. Pile number 1. Let's get this one here. Pile number 1, please. And let's do one of these. Okay, 2. Okay, so let's take a look at what the card you were drawn to is passion. So is there something that's preventing you from following a passion of yours? So we have apatite. Apatite is a stone of manifestation, following your truth. It is made essentially from the teeth, the bones, the antlers of animals. And I believe even plants, like, you know, decaying plants, the roots, the essential core. So there's something, there's something that you're meant to be doing, something you're very passionate about. And we have this woman who is like reading to the elderly. So maybe there's a service that you're wanting to provide to help others or to assist others who might not be able to, you know, to help themselves in some way. You can also be wanting to be a teacher. Okay, let's see what else is coming out for you. Let's move this over here for you guys. Blue apatite. Let's look at the tarot first. Okay, so we have the 8 of Pentacles. This has to do with your work, your career. Generosity, Yeah, you're a very generous person. Let me see what else. We have the Seven of Cups. But you're unsure which one to do. And then we have Judgment. Your higher self, following your truth. Maybe been having a hard time going after this manifestation or this passion that you have, because perhaps you could be afraid that you're not going to be receiving the financial stability that you're looking for. Seven of Cups. I fear that, yeah, this is, I think, where your fear is coming from. Afraid to make a choice. When to make that choice. A little bit of indecision here. Pile number 1. So I've had to restart your reading at least 3 times. So that may have something, some relevance for your reading here about the blockages. I feel like there's a calling that you're meant to do. There's a path. There's something that's been calling to your heart, or service that you're wanting to provide, that you're very passionate about. And you've been working hard on it. We have this individual who's working at their craft here. And they've been learning, going through the different phases and different cycles. And we have this individual who's looking at all the choices and all the options and afraid to make a decision, afraid to make a choice. And I feel like that could be because you are afraid of the monetary support, you know, the financial support, whether it's going to provide for you, give you the amount of financial stability that you're looking for, or you're afraid of possible judgment, afraid of how others are going to be perceiving you if you choose to act on this higher calling or to go after this passion that you have. And with the Judgment card, we also have your higher calling here, like your passions coming to alive, awakening to your true self. But it can also reference, you know, afraid of being judged by others, afraid to make that call yourself, to decide to make that choice to go after your dreams or something that you really want to do. And this could be a spiritual practice even. I'm feeling a little bit coming through here. Something that you're wanting to offer to others. All right, let's see what your oracle cards have here. We have release, purge, surrender, emotional release, clearing, and walking away. Okay, so yes. Your guides are saying, Spirit's saying to release and let go of any worries that you may have. Let go of any fears, any doubts. That can also be part of the blockage that you have here. We have stability and flow. Okay, yeah, trying to balance, juggling uncertainty, stressful choices. Okay, confirmation. So the fear, the blockage is that you're not going to have that financial stability. And that if you act on this, if you go after this, that it's not going to provide enough. It's not going to support you financially, pretty much. Yeah, that's what we have. We have obscurity. In the unknown, there's room for endless possibilities. Ooh, okay. So see, we have the light within the dark here. Endless possibilities. And that's the thing. When we allow fear to dictate, when we allow fear to control us from making those choices, we have to address where the fear comes from. Because the fear is what's preventing you from going after your dreams, from fulfilling this passion that you have. And you have to address the fear in order to know without a doubt that everything's going to work out for you, because the fear is the blockage, and the fear is about financial stability here. For me, what I had to do whenever I came across this, and this is different for everybody, I had to go back towards my childhood, because I grew up in a home that was very, the finances were very unstable, and my parents used what they could to find a way to earn an income. And my dad had a normal job. My mom had a normal job, but then we ended up moving, and my mom, you know, when we moved, she didn't have that same job, so she started to, we started to grow our own food. We started to, my mom, she was a vet tech, so she was always into the animals and stuff, and so we ended up having a bunch of rabbits, and she would sell the rabbits to earn extra money. We had chickens. She was very much into dogs. She used to show a lot of dogs, and she ended up getting into the dog breeding programs, and she ended up selling puppies, things like that, to earn, you know, income, because there was 4 of us children, so they were always trying to stay above water. And I watched my parents struggle, and we heard all these, you know, old sayings, money don't grow on trees, and, you know, the fear of not knowing, you know, where the money was going to come from. All those kinds of things were always very much in our awareness. Even though my parents didn't really talk to us about the bills, we just had, you know, we weren't allowed to go certain places, even field trips at school. A lot of our clothes were purchased at the thrift store, you know, or they were hand-me-downs from my mom's friends, those kinds of things. So I know what it's like to grow up without, and that fear of security. And that's the thing, it has to do with the root chakra, fear of security and stability. So you have to address and heal that original fear, where it comes from, and understand what was taking place at that time of your life, and how you can comfort that aspect of yourself that was going through that experience, and what advice can you offer to that version of you that will alleviate those fears, you know, and where you end up taking that leap of faith, and you trust in yourself, and you trust in your abilities to navigate the adventure that you're going to be experiencing going forward, you know. And it is about having faith that this is your destiny. It's what you're meant to be doing, because you're doing something from the heart, you know. It's in your heart to do it. You love doing it. You're very passionate about it. You get excited about it. That's how you know you're in alignment with your true self, with what you're supposed to be doing, because you don't dread it. It doesn't take from your energy. You know, it actually lifts you up. It gives you energy. It gives you that higher vibrational energy. That's how you know that it's part of your destiny to be doing that. And anything that gives you that feeling, how can it not support you? How can it not be a good thing? And that's where we take fear and we transmute fear and anxiety and worry about not having enough, and having that faith in ourselves, knowing that we will be provided for, that the path will unfold for us, and that it will be secure, it will be stable, it will be financially fulfilling, you know, it will provide for you. So there's a little bit of shadow work here that needs to be worked out. And we have the why, right? Okay, and that's the thing. You have to get and understand why. Why do I have this fear? Where does it come from? What is my worry? And then alleviate that fear. Confront it. Face it head on. Question yourself. Where do you come from? What are you trying to show me? Where is there a lack within myself, where I'm not filling my cup with my own confidence, with my own love, my own approval, my own faith in myself, my own worthiness of being able to have success, and deservingness of having success. We have Yang. Okay, I feel like this has to do with something in the mind. It's also the ego, because the ego likes to know likes to know what's going to happen. It needs to know how everything's going to work out. It needs the, you know, from A to B to Z, this is the steps going forward. Whereas the heart, the soul, it knows, you know, it knows without a doubt everything's going to work out. So it doesn't need to know the A to B, the C, the D, how we get there. It just knows this is the outcome. This is where I'm heading. And everything's going to work out for me because I trust, because I'm surrendering to my higher purpose, to my higher calling, to my soul's desire, to my true self. And it's meant to me. Therefore, the universe is going to provide opportunities. It's going to provide these blessings. There's going to be this balance that comes in for me. And it's going to take a little bit, you know, because we have the cycles, right? So you're in the beginning phase. And that's the thing. You have to have that faith and knowing, inner knowing, and trusting in yourself that I've got this, I can do this, I'm meant to be doing this because this is a passion, it's the desire of mine. There's no other option, there's no other reality for me but to be successful in what I'm doing because I enjoy it, I love it. It's not hurting anybody, it's actually providing a service for others. And you have talent guides coming out, spirit mentors and teachers. I feel like this is you. You have the talents, you have the gifts, you're meant to be sharing this. And I feel like your guides are here telling you that they're supporting you. If this is a musical talent, because we have a lot of music, if it's some kind of creative art, something that you're meant to be sharing, your gift to others, you're very gifted at it. That's how you know it's meant to be used in this lifetime because it's something, it's a natural ability. It comes so easily. It's the path of least resistance, right? And that's what you're supposed to be utilizing, is those gifts. You have your personal guide coming through, guardian angel and spirit family. Nice. Okay, so let's look at your numbers. We have a number 31, so we have a 4, we have a 1, a 5, and an 11. So we have the means for a solid foundation and a new beginning here, okay, and taking that first step into that new cycle. And we have a 5, and that's about shifts, change, going on a new adventure. And that's the other thing. Instead of coming from a place of fear of the unknown, see it as you're going on an adventure, and knowing that you're going to go have fun, that you're going to be doing something that you enjoy doing. That brings excitement, you know. And so it's shifting out of anxiety and fear and going into a place of excitement, of going on a new adventure, knowing that everything's going to work out for you, that you're meant to be doing that. This is your soul calling. This is your higher purpose. This is what you've been guided to do. We have stillness. Okay, it's about calming the mind. And that's what has to take place. You have to address the ego spheres and not allowing the ego, not allowing the mind to try to prevent you from moving forward, and addressing the fear. What is the mind showing you? What is its fear about? And addressing it, facing it, confronting it, and then comforting it and saying, I understand why you feel that way, but this isn't going to happen. You know why? Because of this, this, and this. And you have to reassure the ego, because the ego is like a version of you from your childhood that experienced the fear in the first place. So you're trying to comfort it and understand it and give it a voice, but not to allow it to control you and prevent you from going forward and acting on this opportunity. And then we have wake-up call. Look at that. Nice. This is your wake-up call. A new beginning. Something is coming in. Something is reaching its... Yeah, I feel like you are reaching that place where it's like, you know, you must make this choice. You don't want the opportunity to pass you by, you know, to fulfill this thing that's going to bring you happiness, that's going to make you feel alive. that you're very passionate about. It's something that you're meant to create, something you're meant to be doing. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to get you some mindful messages about this real quick. What other messages of confidence can we give to pile number 1? We have, what is this? Hold lightly. Yes, hold lightly. I take the things and people that come into my life lightly, not holding on too tight, so that when it comes time for them to go, they may go smoothly. This does not mean I love any less, that I love any less or not value. I'm not sure what that means. This does not mean I love any less or do not value, but that I can open to the changes of life. Okay, so for those of you who feel like you may be judged for this, you know, it is not, like, not everybody's going to understand your path and your destiny, and it's not for them, it's for you. And so sometimes we have to detach from needing anybody's approval, and understanding that anybody who wants you to be happy in your life, they may not understand, but they will be supportive for you, you know. And so let go of any fears or any doubts you have about anybody judging you or not understanding you, you know, and be okay with them not understanding. And know that anybody who truly loves and cares about you will understand the reasons behind why you're doing. And if they don't, that they will come to you and ask questions and try to get further understanding without judgment. And anybody who does judge, or anybody else who isn't supportive, you know, then set some healthy boundaries for yourself so that you protect your heart. And know that you don't need their approval. The only person's approval you need is your own. Even though we may like to have it, don't allow their disapproval to prevent you from living out your destiny, or not living to your fullest potential and what would make you happy, because some people may be waiting for your service. They may be here to receive and been waiting for you to come into your role here in order for them to receive what they've been waiting to receive, whatever they're needing to learn, whatever that love they've been waiting to receive, whatever the case may be. You know, everything happens for a reason, and we are all in the cogs of the wheel that need to turn, and everybody has a role that they have to play. And some people have to, you know, they can't fulfill their mission until somebody else does their part, you know. So you don't want to not participate in what you are meant to be doing here in this lifetime. Okay, we have return to the body. When I am caught up in a stressful moment, I can move my awareness to my body. Is my jaw clenched? My body tense? How is my posture? This helps me to see where I can relax and let go of tension. Now I can return to any situation more calm and present. Okay, so I feel like this is saying for you to calm your mind, calm your fears. Anytime you feel like your fears are coming up and trying to control you, or your ego, your mind is trying to prevent you from, you know, making this choice to come into your body, to get still, take a few deep breaths, center yourself, remind yourself that you are safe, that you're in the present moment, and remind yourself, go into your heart space, right, and remind yourself, what are you wanting to accomplish and why? Address your fear. What are you afraid of? What is the fear here? What is preventing me from making this choice and going forward? You know, talk to yourself. Ask yourself questions. understand your belief systems, and then correct anyone that feel out of alignment for you, or ones that are coming from a place of fear, because the fear is what's holding you back, like I was saying. There's a little bit of fear here. All right, let me get you some final messages for you, pile number 1. All right. Final messages for pile number 1, please. But you're very talented. You've been working on this very hard. I can see how many hours, how long you've been practicing, working on this craft. Something you're very good at. We have returned to the inner temple. Today, I rediscover my inner self in sacred silence. This is the inner temple in which I am able to calmly study the lessons of that life has provided me. Here, I regain my sense of tranquility. I retrieve my trust in the universe. Bathed in the light of my inner temple, I now remember the value of each and every step of my life. That's beautiful. This is just piggybacking up on what I was saying here about bringing yourself to your center, going within and connecting to yourself here and trusting yourself, listening to what your fears are and trying to understand them, validate them. Don't deny that they're there. You have to address them and face them and confront them, and then question them and get to know why they're there, because they are messengers. They're showing you what's preventing you from moving forward and making this choice for yourself. We have overcoming. Today, in the great school of life, I practice self-discovery. By acknowledging my true fears, anger and ego separate me from my divinity. I allow the light to grow inside of me, and this light gives me the power to reign over my inner kingdom. Today, I overcome all that separates me from the light that is my truest self. Ooh, that's beautiful. You will overcome this. And this is a perfect just confirmation for your whole reading, is getting to know yourself and practicing self-discovery and questioning, the shadows, the fears, because it's our shadows, our fears, they are just parts of our unconscious mind, our subconscious, that hasn't surfaced yet. It hasn't come to the light because we usually suppress it. It's our fear. We don't want to see it. We don't acknowledge it. So our awareness isn't on it, right? But it comes up, it sneaks up on us anytime we want to make a change. And the ego wants to keep everything the same and wants us to stay in our comfort zone. And anytime you try to change something, the ego throws up a fear to prevent you from moving forward. But you're ready to make this change. It's your soul calling. This is your wake-up call. It's time to go within and make some inner shifts and face the fear. And when you face the fear, you shine a light on it. All right? And when you shine light on a shadow, it exposes everything that's been hidden in the dark, right? And so that is bringing light into the darkness, and it awakens the fear, and it shows you, well, I've been here since, this happened, and it's preventing you from moving forward. And so it needs your love, it needs your light, it needs your guidance so that it can move forward and no longer hold you back, so that you can move forward and step into your power. And I have faith in life. Today, I give myself to life. I live in the here and the now without concern for tomorrow, because God is always near and will never let me fall. My faith surrounds me with light, no matter the circumstances. I let go, having faith that life will always provide what is most beneficial for my soul. That's beautiful. And see, once you address the fears, you will then shine that light, and then you can have trust in yourself. You have faith and trust that your guides, that the higher powers, God, source creator, is guiding you to your path, to your soul calling here, to what you're meant to be doing, to sharing your gifts. And some of you may be our personal guide for somebody else. You may be a teacher, a healer for others. But you have to heal what's preventing you from stepping into this role, into this leadership role, okay? All right, pile number 1, these were your divine messages. I hope this helps shines a light on what may be potentially blocking you from achieving your goal. I'm sending y'all so much love. Thanks for joining me in the temple today. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or let me know how this works out for you guys. All right, y'all take care. Have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading, pile number 2. So you guys were drawn to the Golden Healer. We're going to go ahead and pull a couple tarot and do a few oracle cards for you guys. So we're going to take a look at what may be blocking you from reaching a goal that you have in mind. Any kind of potential blockage, something that's stopping you from moving forward. Ooh, too many. Tap me into pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. What is pile number 2's potential blockage? What is blocking you? Okay. Let's go with those. And I see this one. And there's one right here. Let's go ahead and do your oracle cards as well. Pile number 2, please. Ooh. And this one just fell on the floor. Let's do this deck. Wow. Okay, got quite a bit of those. Pile number 2. Just one. Alright, this will be the last deck here. I think there's 2 in this one. Okay, thank you. Alright, let's look at the tarot. Actually, let's look at this card and see what you guys were drawn to. So y'all were drawn to perfection. Okay. So some of you may be dealing with the fear of not being perfect, or feeling like you have to be perfect, or that you're not good enough. What you have to offer isn't good enough. There's something about communicating here. Let's take a look at what else the cards want to say. Let's look at the tarot. 10 of Cups. Okay. Judgment. Yeah, okay. The Sun and the 7 of Swords. All right, give me just a second to tune into this. Yeah, I feel like some of you have been dealing with an old wound. You may not be aware of this wound. There's something having to relate to feeling unworthy, not feeling good enough, and it may come from something in your childhood, a childhood wound. This could be family, somebody in your family who made you feel like you weren't good enough. Maybe you felt judged. Perhaps you felt unseen, a little bit of fear about being yourself, feeling good enough. That you, if you were to speak your truth, if you were to stand out in any way. Maybe you were somebody who was very outspoken, very creative. Oh, Lyron agrees. Sorry, my kitty's coming back here to start talking. He's actually becoming, he was a feral kitty who wandered up here on the farm. And he used to be very cautious about letting you touch him. He used to be scared if he saw your hands. And now he comes and asks for pets and loves or food. So he's becoming very very comfortable and very trustworthy now. So I feel like for you, you may have had to feel like you had to dim your light in order to fit in, to meet somebody else's expectations, in order to feel like you could, you know, it's dimming your light for the approval of others, pile number 7. And I feel like that is what may be preventing you from moving on. Maybe somebody, yeah, it's the betraying your own self, your own needs, your own worth, your own light, out of the need for the approval of others. And what I want to tell you is that you don't need anybody's approval but your own. And some people, you know, if you felt betrayed, some people, they just take what they need and then off they go, you know, and they don't really care how they make you feel. And I've experienced some of those people in my life, so I understand what it feels like when you put your heart in giving to somebody who, you know, even if they are your family or a loved one or a partner, and you give yourself to them, or, you know, you just want everybody to be happy, and sometimes it comes at sacrificing your own happiness to make others happy, to please others. And without realizing it, we can become a people pleaser, trying to keep the peace, and we end up stuffing down our own emotions and abandoning our true feelings, and trying to keep the peace and trying to keep everybody's needs met, you know, and you end up betraying your own self and betraying your own light and your own heart, because you're trying to make everybody else happy. But are they putting in that same effort, you know? Are they putting their needs aside, making sure that your needs are being met? And more than likely they do not, you know. And so what we learn from those situations is we learn to fill our own cup first, to make sure that we take care of our needs, and we validate our feelings, and we express and communicate our feelings to the people who we have those feelings about. And somebody who's in a healthy mindset, or having the openness to have a healthy relationship with you, they care about how they make you feel. They don't want you to deny your own happiness for their own happiness, because they can't be happy if you're not happy. That's somebody who truly cares about you. And anybody who's just trying to take what they need and run off with their needs, and they could care less if your needs are being met, that's not somebody that you want in your life. So I feel like there's this some healing that needs to take place, a little bit of child healing that needs to be addressed or acknowledged. Your own heart, your own feelings, your light needs to be seen, needs to be heard, needs to be spoken out loud. We have receive and open. Open up, generosity, receptivity, gifts and assistance. Okay. And we have North Node, destiny. Okay, so this has to do with your destiny, your ability to receive love, to receive support, to receive, you know, finances, to receive stability, happiness, whatever it is for you that you're looking to create, whatever your goal is, you're meant to do this. Fate, evolution, finding your life path, karmic challenges and rewards, all right? This is your purpose. You're meant to heal from this. I feel like it's an old pattern, something that's been reoccurring in your life, and you may see this in several situations, in several relationships even. We have desire. Harness its power to manifest your dreams, not your delusions. We have anger. Grief. And we have Judgment. Okay, so we have Judgment coming out twice. Okay, so there is a little bit of anger and there's some heartache here. Perhaps feeling, judged or making you feel like you aren't good enough. And this is about finding the balance here. Balancing your emotions, balancing out, not sacrificing your needs for somebody else's needs to be met, And there's sometimes, parents do that for their children. Parents can sacrifice some of their needs to help their children get their needs met, and we do that out of love. But the thing is, if it's not being reciprocated or appreciated, even like, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate this so much, I know that you're sacrificing for me, if there's no communication or appreciation or validation coming from them, it makes you feel like you're undervalued or unappreciated in some kind of way, where your gifts aren't being received in the light that they're being given. And so there may need to be a conversation about that, or you need to withdraw some a little bit so that you don't feel like you're being taken advantage of. And it's knowing who in your life is somebody who is just a taker versus somebody who is good at appreciating what they are receiving, and also when you're in need, they are willing to reciprocate that energy exchange, where you don't feel like you're standing out here on the ledge by yourself. Sorry if y'all are hearing any of my children in the background back there. They're walking through the house. Okay. I do see there, there is a little bit of anger, and there may be even a little bit of resentment. And here's the thing, don't blame yourself or shame yourself or have any regret about what you have done from your heart, because even if it wasn't received in that light, that energy of love is going to be used regardless, even if the person didn't receive it because they weren't open enough to receive it in that way. The universe, God, source, creator, the divine is going to make use of that energy. It's going to send it and even deposit it into a bank account for you to receive later on. But the thing is, you have to know your worth and know your value. You have to know your heart. You have to know that you are worthy of and that you are deserving of receiving, and to open up to receiving, and knowing that you don't have to be perfect, and that what you're creating doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. And sometimes, if this is a skill or a talent, something that you want to create, your desire, your passion, whatever this goal is that you have, sometimes things just flow easy, or sometimes you just are very skilled at something in the beginning stages, and sometimes things we have to work at, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you're not good at your craft. It just means you may need more time to hone in on that craft, on that skill, that talent, and to master it fully. And sometimes you've mastered it in a previous life. That's why it comes so easily and naturally to you. So don't judge yourself too quickly, or judge your ability, or think that you have to be perfect right off the get-go, Oh, whoops, I'm sorry, y'all. I just scooted my chair and bumped my table. Let me check that the cards are in the right spots, because sometimes I jumble my camera around. Okay. And that may be a sign as well, sometimes there's bumps in the road, but it doesn't mean that this isn't the right path, Shift your focus and listen to your heart. We have time to go. Yeah, I feel like it's time to move on. We have this door of opportunity ahead. There's something that you're meant to leave behind, something you're meant to move away from. 45, so we have an ending. Coming to an understanding here. so that you can move forward and step into your purpose, into your destiny. Yeah, you're meant to leave something behind. Take with you the lessons that you've learned from this experience and move forward. We have the meadow with vulnerability. And see, this has to do with opening your heart again and sharing your truth, knowing your worth and your value, setting yourself free, shining your light, visualizing your dreams, dreaming again, moving forward, setting yourself up onto a new path, acknowledging, what didn't work out, and transform that energy, transform your anger, transform your grief and your pain. Learn from the situation. Take what you have learned and move on, bring the wisdom forward and stop judging yourself. We have the currents of emotions. Yeah, there's a little bit of turmoil in your emotional body here. And then we have a journey guide, travel, change in location. Yeah, you're being asked to move forward, to heal from the past. But I do see there's some new opportunities that are going to be coming in for you guys. But you have to open up this heart space here in order for you to be receptive enough into seeing these opportunities come in. Here, I'm just going to put the emotions up underneath here. So that's what's blocking you. That's what's holding you back. Is the emotions of the past. Feeling judged, not feeling good enough. Your anger. And I'm going to tell you, anger, don't deny your emotions. They're there to guide you. They're there to teach you. They're messengers. Anger shows us where we feel disrespected, where we feel that there's a line that has been crossed. And it's there to protect us, to show us where we need to stand up for ourselves. We need to set those healthy boundaries that says, no, you're not going to do this to me. I deserve better. I deserve to be treated better. I deserve somebody who sees me, who values me, who honors me, appreciates my heart, my offerings, my forgiveness, and sees my worth and my values and treasures me in their life. And if they don't, then it's time to walk away. Set those healthy boundaries to protect yourself from being a target for those types of people, and understand why they are there in your life. What they're there to teach you is they're there to teach you to value yourself, to set healthier standards for yourself that says, no, I don't need to put up with and tolerate less than I deserve. You don't deserve me, and seeing your true self, seeing your true light, seeing your heart, knowing that you are worthy and deserving of having good things, having a healthy relationship, having a family that loves and supports you, that wants to see you doing well, that wants you to be happy and loved, But you have to open your heart and know that you are deserving of receiving it, and you don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing. You are perfectly imperfect. That's the thing. We are created in the eyes of the Creator. And we're always learning something, and this was a class that you took to learn your value and your worth by coming across people who didn't see it, who make you feel like you're not, so that you can empower yourself with what you feel you don't have, If it's something that wasn't given to you by your parents in your childhood, they didn't teach you your worth and your value, how to love yourself, how to set how to mirror healthy relationships with yourself and seeing that being reflected in the world around you. If we weren't taught this as children, it's something we have to teach ourselves, you know, how to set those healthy standards and values for ourselves, and not to settle and not to pour into everybody else's cup before we pour into our own cup, and to see that we are worthy and deserving, and to practice healthy self-care and self-love. And if we don't see our value, if we don't validate our hearts and our emotions, nobody else is going to. It's something we have to do first for ourselves first. And then once we learn to do that and we master that, the world will reflect that in the relationships we have with others. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to get you a couple of cards just to close out your reading. Some words of inspiration for pile number 2, please. We have attaining peace. Today I turn within to find the source of my experiences. There I find the peace that comes from seeking truth. I understand that the riches I discover within myself have a greater value than all of the wealth of the outside world. Step by step, I continue my spiritual quest. Little by little, I free myself, rising over higher and attaining true inner peace. Ooh, it says rising ever higher. All right. Peace is coming, making peace with the past here. What didn't work out, so that you can receive what is meant to be. Okay, crossing into the light. Today I face a new bridge that I must cross on the journey to inner transformation. Today, like every day, I will practice the laws of universal love. Thus, I will deal with the current situation in a positive way so that I continue to grow and evolve. As I cross this bridge on my way towards the light, I am reminded of the true meaning of life. Look at that. So we have this being who has this path that's opening up here. And that's what I was telling you. There's this path. There's a new door that's opening up for you. A new beginning is coming in. Light is being shown. And I feel like the more that you go within and understand, you know, the lessons of what you've been experiencing, you will start to see the truth. The sun will start to come in. Happiness will come in. Opportunities are going to start coming in. I'm going to get you one more card. I feel one more message for you, pile number 2. This one here. So we have live for love. Today I put love into everything I do. It is love that gives life to all things. And I open my heart to this greater power. I act gently and speak with kindness. I fill each thought with love and light. I love God and all beings everywhere. I live for love and I love myself. It's beautiful. Live from your heart space by all means. Yes, do what's in your heart to do. But make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, not out of guilt, not out of shame, not because you feel obligated or because somebody told you to do it. You know, you do it because it comes from your heart, not because you're expecting anything in return other than respect, appreciation, you know, those types of things. Those are, you know, that's not too demanding to ask, you know what I mean? That's just common decency. And if you don't feel like you're receiving that, then those, you're not pouring into the right cups, right? You need to love yourself first, pour into your own cup, and I feel like that's what you're being guided to do, pile number 2. All right, you guys, thanks for being in the temple with me today. I'm going to go ahead and close your reading now. I hope this helps you in some way and helps give guidance to helping you to remove those blockages so that you can move forward on your path. I'm sending you lots of love. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story or letting me know how this reading resonates with you guys. All right, you guys, take care. Have a blessed day. Welcome, pile number 3. So you guys were drawn to the green moonstone. Such a pretty crystal. We're going to get a couple tarot cards first, and then we'll pull a few oracle cards, and then we'll get to your reading. So let's take a look at what's blocking you from achieving this goal that you have in mind. What is preventing pile number 3 from moving forward, from reaching this goal? What is their potential blockage? Okay. One more. Let's get a couple tarot and oracle cards. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. What is blocking pile number 3? Okay. And let's get one of these. Messages for pile number 3. Oops, that one just fell. Give me just a second. Okay, you got 2 cards. And let's get one of these. Ooh, you got 3. Okay. Maybe more than that. You got 5. Ooh. You got more cards than everybody. Alright, let's see what you were drawn to. Okay, bittersweet. Alright, this card is a little bit about feeling like you're missing out a little bit. Alright, hang on. Let's see what else wants to come through. I'm going to read these all upright. Okay, so we have something about your truth here. We have the 2 of Cups, 9 of Cups, Strength, and the Chariot. Alright, give me just a few minutes. Okay, so I heard some of you don't feel like you have control over a situation, or you're feeling powerless about something. This could be powerless in the relationship, something with your emotions. I feel like maybe you don't feel like you can express your truth, your true emotions here, your true feelings. There may be, you may be having a hard time expressing your truth. I feel like there's a part of yourself that you may keep hidden, and a part of yourself that you feel confident expressing, but I feel like you don't feel confident expressing your true emotions, you know, communicating your feelings. Okay, so this may have to do with the relationship. Alright, let's see what else comes through before I go further in. We have loss, fears. Okay, yeah, we have not, feeling like you're not good enough, missing someone, feeling left out in the cold, not feeling good enough, yeah. So I feel like there's some emotions that you, fears that you have regarding that. I feel like, yeah, you're spending a lot of time in your mind thinking about this stuff. Up there, it's coming through. The mind, the ego here, envy, and illusion. Yes. Okay, so with envy coming out, envy comes from feeling like somebody has something that you don't feel like you can have, that you don't have the potential to have yourself, or that you're not good enough of having it. And I feel like this is in regards to a relationship, but this is an illusion. This is the fear. This is a mental mind construct here, something of the mind that makes you feel this way. And so there's something that needs to be communicated, something that needs to be expressed so that you can free yourself from feeling trapped in your mind, thinking about this over and over again. Because I feel like you've been stuck in your head, and it's like it's just constantly racing through your mind. You're constantly feeling this way, and the only way you can get it out of your mind is to communicate it, to express it to this person, to this individual. And we have breathe. Okay. With breathe coming through, this is about coming back to center here. This is where you find truth. You rediscover the truth, right? Because the mind keeps us in the program of fear. It keeps us trapped in our fears. It just keeps recycling the same thoughts, the same beliefs over and over again. Because the mind is it's a computer. It's very, what is it? I want to say committed. It's obedient, to what it's being told, what it's being programmed. So if in some point of your life, if you yourself felt that you were being left out, that you weren't good enough, that you weren't deserving, something that made you feel like you weren't deserving, perhaps you had a parent who worked a lot and maybe missed some of your birthdays, because we have this mother who's trying to gift her child this birthday cake, and I feel like the child has just felt very alone, very cast to the side a little bit, and it's the parent doesn't intend for that to happen. It's like the parent is working hard, trying to make the ends meet, and sometimes things can go to the wayside. There can be things that are forgotten, things that they don't have time for. They're not very focused on the emotional needs of the child, because they're so busy and so wrapped up in their world and what they got going on and what they got to do, that they don't think about it. And most times children don't know how to communicate their needs. They don't know how to communicate their emotions when they're not feeling appreciated, or they're feeling alone and abandoned, or forgotten about. Children don't communicate that. We don't have the tools for that, to say it, and so this can be something that comes from childhood, where this was the first time you started believing this about yourself, or believing this about the world, and this is where that belief came from. And so what we have to do, your guides want you to come back to your heart space, go within, take some time to meditate, sit with yourself, go on a spiritual journey to awaken yourself, to enlighten yourself to the meaning behind this experience, because it's just repeating, because this is how you believe the world is, or how you believe you are, and what you believe about yourself, what you believe you deserve. Okay, you're steering the ship. You're the one who can create a new beginning for yourself, or set a new belief system for yourself by addressing your fears, going within and say, okay, what do you want me to know? What are you trying to show me? And it's looking beyond the surface. It's going within and asking those questions. What am I afraid of? And then listen to your inner child, the part of you that originally felt this way. Where did this belief come from? When did I first start feeling this way and believing this way? And address it. Comfort yourself. Hug yourself. It's like doing it's like watching a movie, right? Where you're observing what's happening, and you're looking at all the characters that are involved, and you're seeing what each character is going through, where their head is at, what they're doing, you know what I mean, what's involved with them, and then you kind of look at their backstory a little bit, and so you see how each person's playing a role, and and even yourself. And then you can give yourself the emotional tools that you need to understand that situation from a different perspective, right? And you can bring comfort and nurturing energies to that version of yourself. So that version of yourself is no longer sitting there in that belief system anymore. You know, you shift that belief system to what you really want to happen in your world, you know, and listening to your heart. I believe I'm worthy of this. I believe I deserve this. And I'm going to start making sure that I get that, you know. I'm going to pour into my own cup. I love myself. I'm worthy of this. I'm deserving of this. I'm going to start celebrating me. I'm going to start acknowledging even my small accomplishments. I'm going to start acknowledging all the good that's in my life and being grateful for everything that I have. So I start pouring into my own cup, and this starts bringing in more blessings and more opportunities for you to validate that new belief system that you just programmed yourself with, okay? So we have card number 29. This is about awakening, trusting your intuition, a higher purpose, enlightenment, okay? And so we have this woman, she's sitting on this lotus, very zen, very tapped into going within to her mind and meditation here. So spending time in meditation, calming your breath. Perhaps do some breath work, you know, practice meditating more, being more in the present moment, because this gets you out of the mind so that you can calm the mind, which slows the program down so that you can tap in and access that program so that you can shift that belief system, because the program's the belief that is, it's like corrupted, it's a virus, you know, and it's running in the background of the system, and it needs to be, you know, uninstalled, you know, it needs to be checked and cleared so that you can insert the new program, the new belief system that's more healthy, more in alignment with your true purpose, with your true self, with your goals, with your desires, okay? We have ascended masters, devoted spirits with specific intentions. Ooh, okay. So some of you are being very guided at the moment, being very guided to working with them. And we have, this is 4, and this is about stability, putting in the hard work to create that foundation for yourself, you know, and working with the ascended masters, you know, and that's Jesus, Mary, Yeshua, Buddha, Kuan Yin, any of those that you feel called to working with, you know, they're there to support you and help you with this, to set those intentions for yourself. And we have, ooh, prophets and ancient seers, decisions, predictive guidance. That's beautiful. We have this woman, what do you intend to create? What is it that you want in your world here? We have a card number 18, a number 9, the end of a cycle, understanding, coming to an understanding here, spiritual understanding, your wisdom, your purpose, going after your work, your dreams. Start navigating and steering the ship, finding your soul purpose, what you're meant to be doing. You're meant to be guiding yourself into the right direction here. Some of you are meant to be a leader. Some of you are meant to be a teacher. You're meant to teach others. You're meant to be a guide to others. Some of you, I feel like, have some psychic abilities. You're meant to communicate something to others. Yeah, which is why I feel like you have the King of Swords coming out. You know, somebody who knows, who's very good at communicating clearly, communicating their emotions and how they feel and how they see things. It's something that's meant to bring you a lot of prosperity. I feel like if that's something what you're trying to bring in, there's these fears that are preventing you. There's some kind of a belief system in the mind that's preventing you from achieving this success. All right, something that involves your inner child, you know. With the Strength card coming out, this is about taming the ego, calming the ego, facing your fears, standing in your truth, shining your light, balancing the masculine and feminine energies out, where you feel balanced with heart and mind. All right, let's see what these cards have to say. We have Spring Rebirth. Ooh, yeah, you're meant to shift out of this old way of thinking into something new and to recreate yourself. Ocean with ebb and flow. Release those old emotions. Allow yourself to be guided by your intuition. I feel the moon coming out here, but we have the sun coming up on the horizon. This new beginning for you. We have music and harmony. I feel this has to do with a frequency. Listen to some fuego frequencies, you know, balancing the chakras, you know, perhaps doing some of those music meditations, the singing bowls, things like that will help shift your vibration and your frequency here. And we have the autumn equinox with release. Yeah, these energies, when you're listening to some of these meditations or these singing bowls, whatever, the healing bowls, you know, things that help you heal. Maybe you're somebody who loves to listen to music, maybe moving your body, which will help you to cleanse your emotions. Like body movement helps to move the energies around so they're not stagnant. So some of you may enjoy working out. Some of you may enjoy doing Zumba, things like that help move your body, which will help you to move and shift the energies. And we have wind activation. Ooh. So with the wind activation, this has to do with the mind, you know, and activating new programs, creating new programs, new belief systems for yourself, shifting your frequency and your vibration here. And some of you are meant to be working with the Ascended Masters, you know. They are all individuals who have walked the earth plane, so they've gone through the same, you know, not the same, but they have been on the earth plane to have similar situations where they've had to learn similar life lessons to us, you know, and so they have been here and they know what it's like. So we are always there to offer guidance and support. So definitely tap into their energies and guidance, because they're definitely shining a light for you. And yeah, they will also help you to see the truth of the situation and help you create that shift internally. So that is what's blocking you guys at the moment, is an internal belief system about not feeling good enough, feel like you're missing out on something, and that's preventing you from achieving this goal. Okay, I'm going to get you some final messages, pile number 3, and we have awareness. And it says, I open my consciousness to my true self. I understand that I am here to grow and to free myself from conflict and discover who I really am. Today, I release illusion and limitations in the material world in order to elevate my being towards the eternal light. I grow stronger and stronger as I explore the wonderful being that I am. Oh, that's beautiful. So this is coming into awareness of your fears, of what's holding you back. Going within the mind and conquering the mind here. Slowing the mind and bringing it to, you know, equilibrium, to a balanced state where the mind is not in control and not running the field here. We listen to our heart and we get our heart and mind in sync by taking our heart with us as we go into the mind to understand what is, you know, running in the background of our subconscious belief systems here, and where does this come from and why, and start questioning yourself. Why do I believe that? What am I afraid of? What's holding me back? And going within and start asking those personal questions with yourself, and then comforting yourself. And it's not denying that you feel this way, it's understanding why I feel this way. And then bring your understanding that you have now to that version of yourself that created those belief systems in the first place. And that's what's going to bring you forward, where you feel more in control, more aware, more connected to yourself, connected to that part of you that did feel alone and felt abandoned, or didn't feel good enough or seen or worthy. All right, and we have strength coming through today. I maintain control of my emotions. I rise above self-doubt. I affirm my power and stand strong in my unshakable faith. Today, I know that I have strength to overcome anything I encounter. I find my courage in the truth. Holding tight to the force of love, I triumph over fear. Look at that. I love that for you guys. You're going to do it. Stand in your strength. Hear your truth. Listen to your heart. Ask your guides to give you strength when you feel that it's hard for you to, go back and journey to those feelings when they originated. Because sometimes it can be very hard to go back into our childhood memories, especially when it was very painful the first time we experienced it, and we don't want to feel that pain again. But there's something there that we need to see. There's information we need to collect. There's tools, there's power that we've left behind that we need to gather, that we need to bring forward. There's comfort and healing that version of ourselves need from us, because there was nobody there in that moment to give it to us. So the only person that can save us from those moments is ourselves. So we have to go and reclaim that part of us that feels abandoned, so that we don't feel abandoned anymore. We can go be that person for ourselves that we needed long ago. And you may even hear yourself, because this is what's really wild. This is how I learned about the ways that we see things, like time travel and stuff like that. Like, when you're going through something hard, or when you're telling yourself in your head, where you hear this internal voice, going, you can do it, or, it's okay. Like, you hear this comforting sound, in your mind, and it's like it's the future you who's going back in time to comfort the younger you, to help you get through that moment, and it's the voice you needed to hear. It's the voice that got you through those moments in the first place, And so when you think about that, it's just like mind-blowing, So truly think about that, What did you need in that moment? What is the voice that you needed to hear? What is the words you needed to hear to help you, to remind you that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are appreciated, that you are validated, that you are worthy and deserving, and, all those things. You're not alone. I see you, and this is, only temporary. We're never going to have to experience this again, Something got you through those moments. And when you start to hear the words, it'll be yourself talking to you. All right, let's see. We have remain in the light. Today I observe. I take time to think calmly and wisely. I go forward with complete confidence, knowing that I will succeed. No matter what happens today, I will remain in the light. I will maintain my faith and equilibrium. And in this way, I nurture my soul and become a strong and steady representative of the light. Beautiful. Look at this door opening up and these steps for this golden path going forward. You are being guided, and you're being reminded of your light, of your strength, to have faith moving forward. All right, and your final card is overcoming. And it says, today in this great school of life, I practice self-discovery. By acknowledging that my fears, anger, and ego separate me from my divinity, I allow the light to grow inside me. This light gives me the power to reign over my inner kingdom. Today, I overcome all that separates me from the light that is my truest self. Beautiful. Look at that image. And you're being welcomed with open arms to step into your light, pile number 3. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close your reading. I'm so happy for y'all. And you're being reminded of your true self and of your light and of your power, and to hold on to your faith and your strength going forward, and to calm your mind, to breathe, to bring yourself in the present moment, you know, and to know that you can overcome anything, and don't let anything stop you from accomplishing your goal, pile number 3. All right, you guys, I'm sending y'all so much love. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you all for joining me in the temple today. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or just let me know that pile number 3 resonated with you. All right, y'all take care and have a blessed day.